No more promises that, yeah, we can get the money, but it's going to take us 3 years. We'll score you with a 0. You can propose, but you may not score well.
Steve, addressing that particular issue, on one occasion we required some type of down payment, not a down payment, some money
Yeah.
down. And if you were serious about it, you would never lose the money.
Yeah.
You would just go ahead and give
Absolutely.
it. But if you were not, you would lose your money. So we have something in place now
Yeah.
that will
We
require
could put that in this
Right.
process.
Thank you.
You know, you post a bond.
Yeah, when you just post a bond, if you're serious about it.
Yeah. Now, we actually have a time schedule that we've developed in order to show you that we're serious about this. I mean, this took place in the last 4 weeks. The next 4 weeks, we have another series of events that will occur, and Billy Lofton is going to come up and...
I'd like to talk about the timeline in a minute, but I'd like to, before I go over that, in response to Ms. Morris's concern, I'd like for y'all to know, I have a little more knowledge of what Senate Bill 211 did that the mayor was talking about earlier. And essentially what Senate Bill 211 did was it said if a developer would come in on this 9.2 acres and would develop it, basically we amended the legislation and says if the developer comes in and follows our 2007 referendum, which the people have approved, that it would be acceptable to follow the industrial inducement statute 4717-12 or 4717-2, which essentially allows us to consider the value of the economic impact to the city in determining what the consideration would be for the transfer. So that gives us a lot of negotiating strength and leverage with the developer, because we can take a piece of property that was donated to us, and typically a surplus transfer requires that we can only transfer that property for its actual appraised value. In this particular instance, now that the legislation has been amended by Mayor Roach through Ronnie Johns, we can now look at the value of that economic impact, and we can adjust the consideration for the developer to allow the developer to put money into this infrastructure, so that we've parlayed that donation into an opportunity to create infrastructure and as an opportunity to create economic impact for our community. So that's where a lot of the money's coming from. That's one of the things that we've done to help push this through. In addition to that, and I can answer any other questions about that legislation, but I wanted to give you all a quick timeline on the RFP process. This resolution that we're putting on tonight will be adopted on July 1st after a vote by the council. Then on July 6th, we would send out the RFP to the different developers. They would be allowed approximately over 40 days to respond to that, which would mean we would receive the RFPs or the proposals from the developers on around August 17th. On August 25th, we would place an item on the agenda for an ordinance in order to accept the offer that we negotiate. On September 2nd, that ordinance would be introduced, and then on September 23rd, we would have final action on that offer. So if y'all are aware, that would be, I want to make sure we bring this to everyone's attention, we would request at that August 25th agenda meeting that we do a special meeting on September 23rd. That is our off week in September, and I want to bring that to everyone's attention now in case it's an issue, so that if we need to readjust that if someone's not going to be here or whatever. But we want that item to be the only item that the council's looking at, so we don't get distracted by some minor issue when we have that something of that importance before us. So that just gives you the timeline. We're looking at finishing this and potentially even having a negotiated deal by September 23rd for y'all to vote on. We may be asking for authority with bullet point items from a developer, but we may even be ready to, we may even have documents. It just depends on how complete their proposal is, if it's just bullet points or if it's actual documents. So if y'all have any other questions on the RFP timeline, I can answer them, or any other questions on the legislation, I can answer them.
Question,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
I know you envision a master developer for this. you think that it's feasible to have a master developer, and if not, what's Plan B? Do we break it up?
Yeah. So the RFP is purposely set up where we're not specifying one or the other. We've learned that there are going to be a lot of different levels of interest. There may be a level of interest for someone simply to come in and do that 6.5 acre block of mixed use. If we get a master developer who can bring all of those components, then obviously they score higher. The objective here is that we are able to score the various proposers based upon how and what they bring to the city. And so if we get, I think we will get more than one master developer. 9.5 acres is not a big property to do a master development. Now, hopefully that's what happens. In New Orleans, we had 11, this is 110 acres, we had 11 developers propose. I don't know what's going to happen here. We may get none. You don't know. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I mean, we're getting a lot of interest right now just from these pieces of discussions we've had. Tonight, I'll probably get 2 or 3 calls again. It's been amazing.
Thank you.
One last question. You mentioned the National Hurricane and Science Museum a minute ago. And they're, at this point, contemplating on doing phases of that project. Surely you have figured in the impact that the National Hurricane and Science Museum will have on this whole picture. I mean, it would be complementary to both projects. And so it just seemed like it's a gold project any way you look at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'll also offer, we're touching on specific uses that we know about today. There are others we have not touched on that will evolve as a result of this nucleus project. Ms. Morris brought up something in the workshop that I thought was a great idea. We haven't explored that yet, but the idea of expanding this to other levels of amusement. That's an expansion, and there's compatibility to the beach. So I would suggest, let's not stop here. As we move this process forward, there's more development potential in the city. We need to be working that.
Well, I'm just adamant about a Ferris wheel. I love that Ferris wheel concept coming over.
Everybody in the workshop did. Everybody talked about it. Yeah, so, and I saw the picture on the wall over here.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting.
That gives you a good look.
What a billboard without having to have a billboard.
That's right, that's right.
So there's lots of opportunities, but you got to start somewhere.
Somewhere.
And this is a great start.
I know one thing that was talked about in one of the sessions I went to, radio was talking about things for the kids to do, and talked about a water park, and I think that could be a good fit down there on the west end there. She talked about go-karts, I think that could fit in, that's down there, water park would, and there's a another good example of that for people that get to Baton Rouge. The Blue Bayou is really too big, probably. I'm not really going to support that, but Brett built the one in Independence Boulevard, Independence Park. There's bigger than Water Park in Salford, but not as big as that. Somewhere between that, I think is the niche that we can get for that. So I think there is a lot of opportunity to do that. Part of this, I'd like to see the RFP before it goes out. I think it'd be good for the council to be able to see it, so we know what we're seeing.
Should have it on Monday.
Okay.
Thank you.
June 29th.
We're going to talk about, Susan, we talked about, I understand, as a governmental body, as a private landowner, the only sources of revenue we have are either sale of land or the lease payments that we can get on land improvement. But as a governmental, we of course get the sales tax, incremental sales tax from that, and also the property tax on at a minimum on the improvement, and if it's likely to be a land sale on the Pinnacle piece. Obviously on the west piece it can only be a land lease at this point, so we do get the property tax on that. We're going to build in that. I know that we've talked about the TIF. Is that going to be part of the RFP that's available, and we're going to talk about whether we're going to be, there's several ways to do this TIF, but one of them is, the developer can actually volunteer to collect an extra quarter, half a penny, and we could put in a portion of that.
Absolutely.
Incremental. And basically what TIF is, right now that property is virtually well, not virtually, is literally creating zero sales tax revenue. Maybe it's if they're doing leases, rentals and jet skis and things like that at the beach, but all those are zero, so we can certainly plow that back into the budget and help renovate that parking garage to, obviously, the road's gonna be a public road, so it'll be up to us to be able to build that road.
Maybe not.
But it depends,
Keep in mind that this is get the public concept out of your mind for just a second. A private developer can come in there and do all of that. Now, we are saying in the RFP, are asking, are you interested in using a TIF? And if so, how? Is it additive? Is it an EDD? Is it a CDD? Because these developers understand that. Okay, is it deductive from your sales tax base? So maybe it's a little bit of both. But we may want them to build all of the public infrastructure for us. We don't, that's open to their proposal.
well, they can do it quicker and cheaper than you can.
And why not? But they manage it. And that can be part of their concept.
And they can dedicate it back to us, sure.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions from the council?
There might be a question out there.
Yeah, are there, this is a public meeting, is there, maybe anybody can answer, but, yeah, if you come approach by, state your name and address, and like I said, specific to this project, and certainly something, depending on the question, that, may be up to, the administration, council, or Mr. Wu to answer.
1807 Broadmoor Drive, County Council from Iowa State. That's a brilliant presentation you just showed us. Beautiful for the city. You all did a great job downtown developing. And if you do what you would like to do, that'll be nice and okay. What people have to understand is this. We're in the middle of Houston and New Orleans. You're going to get it paid for. I guarantee you. Without the people working at the plant. But I like to ask you this question. With those condos, how many condos are you planning on selling?
We reference housing, we're differentiating condos and rental units there. The top floor is 40 units, which we intend to condominiumize.
How many square feet?
The units average 900, they can be as small as 700 up to 1,200, and that's coming from market studies.
Okay.
They haven't been designed yet.
You have any price range of what they're going for?
We have not done that
But
yet.
I wish you the best of luck. This city definitely needed, and congratulations on that
Thank you so much for your
presentation.
comments.
Thank you. Council, Robert Lewis for the record. I have address 1615 North, Moreland Street.
All right.
1615 Moreland. Yes, it's a great presentation, and I like a lot of what it's saying. I had one question. Could the old Sears property be included in this project?
I'm not capable of answering, I'm not really familiar with that project.
Mayor?
Mr. Lewis, right now, we've already sold that property, and it has another 18 months to complete the development. But that properties have been sold.
That property has been sold, so
Yes.
it can't be, okay. That was my question. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Well, let's get a minute in, y'all.
We got someone else.
Somebody else coming?
Okay.
Hi, my name is Erin Howe, and I'm with the Quality of Life Task Force for Downtown Development. And I'm sorry, I live at 715 Rampart Street. Unfortunately, not downtown yet, but I'm trying. But I just felt like I would be remiss if I didn't say that we're thrilled with what Mr. Ube has come up with, and so happy that the city has asked him to do this plan, and I think that it's a beautiful plan, as everybody else, I think, agrees with that. But I actually, I was looking at the lake the other day, from kind of the standpoint of Shell Beach and Lake Street, kind of that intersection, kind of looking out, at that whole area there, and I was just picturing that development being there and how awesome it would be to connect everything that's already there. I just think it's great, and coming from, they keep calling us, the young people and the yuppies and whatever, we have all these different names for our group, but but we, as whoever you want to call us, are really happy to see something like this to come to Lake Charles, and I do think that it will be a great attraction for newcomers as well as those people that already live here and who are looking for something to do, and downtown is already starting to thrive, and I think this will just help that situation to grow. So just wanted to say thank you and show our support for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else? All right.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.